and regular meeting and continue with our agenda. Item number 9, appointments to boards and committees. 9A, Monroe Union Economic Development Advisory Board. We have one vacancy.
Mr. Chairman, I would nominate Tony Helms to be reappointed to that board. Tony has served that board very well as the citizens of Fairview and the citizens of Union County. Having had the opportunity the last 2 years to work with Tony, I've been quite pleased with his level of participation and feel he'll be a continuing member in good standing with us. So I'll nominate Tony Helms.
Thank you. Any discussion? All for Tony Helms?
Aye.
No opposition. Next, we have the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. We have 2 vacancies. The Juvenile Crime Prevention Council has vacancies for a juvenile defense attorney and a member of the business community. 2 applications been received. Anna Morrison Goodwin and Sarah Gray. Note, Ms. Gray does reside in Charlotte, but I believe she works here in Union County. Both of these applicants are attorneys and eligible to fill the vacancy. Should the board want to appoint both applicants, one could serve in the position of the juvenile defense attorney and the other could serve as a member of the business community.
I'd make a motion that we approve both these applicants, but I do have some discussion.
Okay. Do we need to identify which one's going to be the actual
That's the question.
defense attorney?
Do we need to identify which one would serve in which position?
Yes.
I would say that Ms. Gray be the juvenile defense attorney and Ms. Anna Morrison Goodwin be the member from the business community.
Any further discussion?
Now, Ms. Goodwin lives in Union County, is that right?
Right.
Yes.
And Ms. Gray lives in Charlotte and works in Union County.
Yes.
Well, I personally think that it ought to be flip-flopped then. I think
You think so?
I do, since she's a resident of Union County and signed up to serve. I think, I think that would be the right, in my opinion, the right thing to do would be to put a resident of Union County on our Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. And certainly appreciate Ms. Gray. I'm certainly not taking anything away from her application to serve, and appreciate her application to serve. But I think if we have an alternate position that she could serve in, I would be more comfortable with her serving in that alternate.
So you're making that as a friendly amendment to
If
the
Commissioner
motion?
Cushing would accept it.
I don't have any problem. I guess my thinking was that being the juvenile defense attorney, if that's what she was in the business of doing, maybe. But and you having a Union County business member, kind of thought more of the Union County resident / business person. But I don't have any problem either way. Doesn't affect me one way. Any preference that they had in there?
Both of them had applied as the juvenile defense.
So just they both had applied as the juvenile defense attorney. I'm fine with that for amendment.
Any further discussion?
Clarify.
Yes, we need to clarify that we're voting on Ms. Goodwin for the juvenile defense and Ms. Gray as the member of the business community. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? Thank you. Next, 9C, we've got Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. School Board representative Gary Sides has agreed to serve as a school board representative on Union County Parks and Recreation Committee, and this has been provided by their chairman of their Board of Education. I move that we approve Mr. Sides for Parks and Recreation. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. So moved. Library Board of Trustees, there's 4 vacancies. Terms of the 4 members of the Library Board of Trustees expire in January 2015. Those members are followers: Valerie Grumlevitz. That's okay. I'm sorry. Bromley Sherritt, Karen Bowman, and Charlene Balkum. Ms. Sherritt serves at as the at-large representative, and it's our understanding she is not requesting an appointment to the committee. Ms. Grunwitz is a Waxhaw representative, Ms. Bowman, Weddington, Ms. Balcom is the Marshall. We have one additional candidate that's applied, and that's Elizabeth Cullen. Ms. Cullen is eligible to serve as an at-large should the board want to appoint. So we've got the 3 existing that's applying for reappointment, except for Ms. Sharon.
We have 4 members available, is that right?
4 available, and with Ms. Cullen, that would make 4. The 3 reappointees
That 4th vacancy is
at large.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
So,
Then I move that we accept all of those.
okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, moving right along. County Manager, your comments, please.
I just have 2 very brief comments. One was I had the opportunity to attend the legislative goals session last week in Pinehurst, and I have to say I was very impressed with the process that they went through and the transparency, and I think we should be proud as North Carolinians that of the process that I observed. It was something. Everyone should feel like they had their voices heard. The other was just to wish Neil Spear best of luck in his retirement, and congratulate to him for the honor that was bestowed upon him this evening. And Neil was probably one of the ones I got to learn the earliest in my career with Union County, and that's because he's the guy who calls me at 3:30 in the morning to decide if we're going to have a snow day or not. And I think I'd been on the job about a month before the first time I got one of those calls. So, Neil, I will miss those phone calls. And with that, I have nothing further.
Commissioner Simpson, Jerry Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's important to, congratulations to Neil for his outstanding performance throughout the many years with Union County. I think it's important that we all take the opportunity when we can to share one another's burdens, and my sympathies go out to J.R. Rowell, our clerk of court's family, and the loss of his brother. It's been a sort of a rough week here in Union County with the tragedies that we've been presented. The other thing that I would like to do is yield my time to either Chairman Helms or Vice Chairman Rushing to give us a report on the legislative goals conference to see how that process went down and what the 5 recommended goals were.
Okay. Commissioner Agnes?
Okay. And I just want to also congratulate Mr. Spear and thank him for his dedicated years of service. Also want to thank Manager Kodo and Commissioner Helms and Commissioner Rushing for taking the time to go to that legislative conference. I think it's very valuable insight that we probably gained by doing that, and I appreciate those gentlemen and lady donating and dedicating their time in doing that. So thank you very much.
I congratulate Mr. Spear as well, and also the other individuals who retired from Union County. I appreciate their service. Thank you.
Barry Rowell, I can't say enough good about him. We worked with him for many years with the Wildlife Resources Commission. He's going to be missed. A better guy you can't find. So we will miss Barry, and prayers go out to his family. The Legislative Goals Conference, he's not going to do it himself, so I'm going to brag on Chairman Helms. He got one of our top legislative goals pushed through, stood up and gave a very good speech about it for the Legislative Goals Conference, and had 100% vote behind us in that. So I'm not going to steal his thunder and talk about what all he did, but he did a very good job for us, and I appreciate you representing us there. The other parts to that, we learned a lot of interesting stuff. They did a presentation on how to stay off YouTube. I followed that very close because I was scared to death they were going to put a highlight film of my past service in the county commission. So when they started playing, I said, man, those meetings are pretty tame compared to what I'm used to. But I am glad. I thank God for the good people that I've got to work with this time. It was just a night and day difference from what I had in the past. And again, we have had a lot of tragedy in the past week, but I will miss greatly Barry Rao.
I appreciate it. It was a extreme pleasure to attend the Legislative Goals Committee. The support of Vice Chair Rushing and Manager Koto. We were successful. I had to get them to give me the top 5. There were actually 51 goals that were brought up, so our goals competed against those 51. And so our goal, which was P4 of the legislation, was that it prohibited school boards from suing Board of Commissioners, was item number 3 out of all. So it made the top 5. The first was continued support of state funding for Medicaid. The second one was legislation to restore the mandatory requirement of 40% of the net lottery, which is important to the county. Our P4 was it was well received. I got to speak first, and afterwards we had about a half a dozen people come up to speak, and all they wanted to say was how supportive they were of this being one of our major goals. So, and there was number 4 was oppose any shift of state transportation responsibilities to the county, which is significant. And number 5 was oppose unfunded mandates and shift to state responsibilities of counties. So I think our request fell in pretty high regards with this, and I spoke with the president. He was very supportive. I spoke with the attorneys that had been working to, what do you call it, Jeff, where they were supporting our case? Amicus brief. Okay, thank you. So it was a very good conference. Made some good contacts, and so looking forward to maybe next year's. I highly encourage y'all to go to that. It was very informative. And outside that, I'd like to recognize. I had the opportunity Saturday night to go to the Providence Volunteer Fire Department annual banquet, and at that banquet they announced that they'd got their ISO rating, and it was a rating of 4. I think they'd gone from a 6 to a 4, so that's a significant accomplishment on their readiness to serve the community. So they need to be commended. We congratulate them. Mr. Spear, I've worked with him on emergency planning boards and things like that. He's represented us well. I think he'll be missed, but Ms. Koto, I think we'll find somebody else to call you in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
And I agree with everyone else that our loss, we sympathize with JR and his family on the loss of his brother. So our prayers are with you. And also our prayers with the young man that lost his life in the canoeing accident at Cane Creek. So please keep them in your prayers. Do I have a move to adjourn?
So moved.
All 4?